Yeah, so that's when they did the deployment in Iraq. Had some goods and bad times there. 1-2 was tasked with taking the city of Nasiriyah, spearheading the assault on Nasiriyah. At the time, it was till Fallujah, till Phantom Fury Fallujah. It was the bloodiest battle since Vietnam that the U.S. military had been in. We lost a lot of guys, killed a lot of bad guys. Kind of a best and worst day of my life. I've got a book that I wrote, a little short, not a book, it's a little short story that I call The First Step. It's out there on Kindle.
Yeah, I'll get a link from it and throw it up there so people that want to read up on it.
It's creative nonfiction. Like I created some fiction surrounding this of me in a car with my mom driving our little Toyota Camry, because this event did happen. Then where I'm in the car and my brother keeps turning the knob, which was a daily occurrence, and I wanted to listen to something else and he wanted to listen to something else. And I remember hearing something on the news about something happening, and I always wanted to hear about the war. Always wanted to hear about the Gulf War, what was happening over there, Desert Storm and everything else, because I would watch it when it came on the news. Like I was just infatuated with military, and everything as a kid. And I created this thing where they're talking about a fight. And against some tanks and things like that, and and how we obliterated them, kind of thing. And then I moved it over to this guy named Hassan, and Hassan is the guy I fight in my first fight, fictional. And I made all this up, but where he's playing soccer when he hears over the loudspeaker to pray because they just had mass casualties in this area or whatever, and he goes home, finds out his uncle and his father's killed, and but this is how our paths began to cross, and they cross on March 23rd, 2003, and. It's just create a little bit of fiction around, an event, and something I wrote a long time ago. It's out there, tells the story. Not about fighting. It doesn't have any fighting in it. I hate to disappoint you, but it's all the things that I was feeling as the ramp was going down, as we're going to the fight, and all the things that I wanted to not go out there, but I had to. I was trying to using fake motivation to inspire my guys to not be scared while I'm doing my best to pretend not to be scared.
Yeah, holding it together. I'm sure that's really difficult, especially. Let's face it. You're in your early mid-20s at that point, trying to motivate people, and you're lacking that motivation yourself. And at that point, not a whole lot of people, other than if they went to Afghanistan, maybe had combat experience to lead into that. Maybe some stuff down in the. Yeah,
and none of us in our unit did. We were new. But there was a drill instructor one day when I was at Parris Island, freezing cold, had like every ounce of clothes that I had on. That I owned. I was wearing it because it was so cold and windy and miserable and raining. Probably like 35 degrees, pouring rain, 20-mile-an-hour wind, and I'm just freezing on the range, coaching recruits, and I'm shaking and I'm miserable, and I'm just feeling sorry for myself, and I'm not coaching good because I'm cocooning, and I'm feeling miserable. And a drill instructor walks by, and he leans right in next to me, and he says, "Hey, dog, I'm gonna give you some advice." I'm like, "What's that, Staff Sergeant?" And he says, "Be cold, don't look cold. Be tired, don't look tired. Be scared, don't look scared. Be hungry, don't look hungry. Look tough, be tough." And I remember that. I don't remember the drill instructor who told me that. I don't remember his name. I don't even remember what he looks like. I remember he told me that in his raspy, I've destroyed my throat from yelling too much voice. And I remember that to this day. Be all those things, but don't look it. Not as a leader, not as somebody that people are looking up to.
Yeah.
You can't look that way. So I remember that then in those moments.
Yeah, that's great sage advice, man.
It is.
Yeah,
it's great.
Really wanted to talk to you about your thoughts on PTSD. I know that you've done videos and while streaming talking about it, and I think it's even what I said to you just for the audience's purpose. I think your thought is like brilliant, and it's a beautiful thought. I think it's much better than what most veterans hear when they hear about PTSD and when how everything looks down on it. I mean, I was talking to a coworker who I have a video with, Jeff, and he was talking about a service member that he served with that committed suicide, and there's no honors even allowed to those service members whenever it comes to stuff around mental health. And so looking at what the outside would look at as a deficiency or a problem, and how that that's something that you can be in tune with, and that's something that can enable you. I hope you could share a little bit about that with the audience.
Yeah, what I'll say about PTSD and mental health, and as it pertains to veterans, there may be some veterans out there who are going to hear this and immediately be pissed off at me, be upset, be think that I'm crazy and I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't have the same experience they did. I think we all had similar experience. We all had different experiences. We all take things differently. Some of us are in a better mental state when we have those experiences, so we don't let ourselves go and do something we regret. Sometimes whether that's hurting somebody we shouldn't or acting in a certain way where our peers would expect us to be braver and we're not, so we feel bad about that the rest of our lives, or there's many different things. Tim O'Brien said that men fight and die in war. They fight, they die, they kill in war because they're too embarrassed not to. You know, so, and if you think about that for a little bit, that's such a powerful, that's why we did things. I had to go down that ramp, even though I envisioned my guts coming out in front of me from getting shot and getting shot in the face as soon as I rounded the corner. I had to go out there because I would be too embarrassed not to. How could I look at all these guys in the face and be like, Shaw stayed in the vehicle. He was scared to go out there. Yeah. How could I live with myself?
Yeah.
I risked death because I was too embarrassed not to risk death. You know, like it's such a powerful thing, you know, because that peer pressure and the propaganda that we have in the Marine Corps, if you go get a DUI or you don't go fight and charge forward and run as fast as you can into fire, you were letting Chesty pull her down and every Marine that came before you. Yeah. Like this is what's expected of us. We're in an eagle of an anchor. You better fight like it. You better live like it, you know, all those things. And that stuff stayed with me. So there's this thing in the veteran community that I've been pretty outspoken about in the past of dysfunctional veterans. We've created this whole thing where we have glorified a veteran being messed up, being dirty, and not like having a big beard and not groomed properly, and you know, giving 0 Fs. Yeah. And you know, I despise it. I think it's horrible. Like a man is measured by how many Fs he gives and how big those Fs are. Not how few he gives. It's easy to give 0 Fs. It's super easy. I don't know if you cuss or not. I don't usually cuss a lot on there.
You're good either way.
So I despise this mentality, this attitude that I am somehow dysfunctional. I am enhanced by my combat experience. I'm enhanced by the sense of urgency. Some friends of mine died in combat. In my presence. You know, like I am enhanced by that. They gave something to me. They left me with something that I am blessed to have that other people will never get to experience. Now, it's a tragic thing. There's trauma associated with it. There's negatives associated with it. And I can either make the choice and focus on all that trauma and those negatives and everything else, or I can look at this gift that they gave me, this sense of urgency, this letting me know how fragile life is, letting me know how easy it is for me to die. No matter how awesome I am at guns or whatever else I do, in a limited set of circumstances, under a limited set of events, me making one mistake and one guy's better at one little small thing than I am, he wins right there that day and I'm dead. Right? Like we are so fragile. We're so easy to kill. I could die in a car accident tonight when everybody's doing the right thing. Just some fluke thing happens. Yeah. I could have a brain aneurysm while we're talking and die right here while we're recording this. Like it is so easy to die. I wish everybody understood how easy it is to die. We're a whisper in the wind on this pale blue dot. We are so insignificant in the grand scheme of time. We're all going to die 3 deaths. We're going to die our first death. When we get put in the ground, we're dying our second death. And then the last time someone ever says your name, which is the saddest death, is going to be your 3rd death. It's coming to all of us. We're not going to be immune. We're not going to get past it. It doesn't matter how many people you rule, how much money you have, how anything else. That's coming. It's coming down the road. It doesn't matter. What really matters is what can I contribute right now? How much fun can I have? How many experiences can I have? Not how many things you can have, how many experiences can I have? And if I'm trying to get as many experiences as I can, not things, I'm also trying to enhance everybody around me, their experiences. I want them to have better experience. I want veterans to live life and not just feel sorry for themselves. You know, not because I've got tons of friends who've been up and down and in dark places. I told a guy I was going to buy him some books the other day, and he's like, "No, I've got some credits with Audible. I'll get them. Which one should I read?" And I gave him like 3 books that he should read. And he's like, "Dude, those were so awesome. What else you got?" You know, and I want to. And he's really changed his life. He quit drugs. He quit a lot of stuff. And this is a guy I was with him, one of my guys with me in that vehicle, in that book, the short story. He was there with me, and I legitimately love this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like love him.
You'd die for him. He's a brother.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, he was having a hard time, so I was like, "Look, here's the deal." And he starts finding all these quotes and all these things, and I'm watching him grow on Facebook, and I'm like, "Yes, man." And I'm staying away until like I see something, then I'm like just encouraging. Because he needs to find, he's finding these things on his own. I'm not going to slow that momentum down with me telling him something, you know? Because he's finding so much right now, and I'm proud of him. Because it's something that I just stumbled on, you know, and I've had some really good mentors in my time. And this whole idea that somehow I'm dysfunctional or less of a person or I need to be medicated for everyone else's protection, I am so much stronger than that. Yeah. I am so much more enhanced with that. Like there's nothing that work is going to throw at me that's going to be worse than my worst day in Iraq or my worst day in the Marine Corps, period. there's nothing that work is going to throw at me it's worse than that. Like, I have already seen the worst it could possibly have. I've seen humanity at its best. I've seen humanity at its worst.